As all of us are aware, the United States has now imposed 50% tariff on most of Indian goods.
Some breaking news, 24 hours to go for Trump's tariff.
Now, the United States has officially issued a public notice imposing additional 25% tariff.
The United States, which buys nearly 60% of India's handmade carpets, has raised import duties to 50%.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called an important meeting today.
In this video, let's understand what this really means for India and how it affects our economy and what steps India has taken to deal with this challenge. To start with, let's dive into a small data on India's trade relation during last financial year. India's first largest trading partner is the United States, with a trade value of around $130 billion. Second comes China, with about $118 billion, followed by the UAE. So going forward in this video, let's stick to the top two players, the United States with $130 billion and China with $118 billion. Though the difference is not that big, there is an important point to note. With the US, India enjoys the trade surplus, but with China, there is a huge trade deficit. Now, what is this deficit and surplus? With the US, India actually makes more money from trade. We sell goods worth about $85 billion to America, but we buy only around $45 billion worth goods from them. That means India has a trade surplus of $40 billion with the US. But with China, it's the opposite. India sells only about $12 billion worth of goods to China, but we buy nearly $106 billion worth of goods from them. This creates a huge trade deficit of $94 billion with China. Okay, why do we export more to the US? Simple. Our goods are cheaper, so they are in high demand in the US market, especially in textiles, IT services, and pharmaceuticals. When there is a demand in the US, industries are established here in India to produce more goods. More people are hired, jobs are created, and profits flow back into the Indian economy. But the story changes with the new tariff. Now, what exactly is a tariff? Think of it as an extra tax added to the price of imported goods in America. This tax is paid by the American citizen whenever they buy a tariff-imposed imported goods. Let's understand with an example. Imagine an exporter named Amitabh Bachchan. He buys clothes from a manufacturer called Rajinikanth in Tamil Nadu. Rajini sells him a t-shirt for $50. Amitabh exports it to the US and sells it there for $100. An American buyer, let's call her Angelina Jolie, walks into the shop, sees the t-shirt for $100, finds it affordable and buys it. A simple transaction where Rajini earns, Amitabh earns, and Angelina is happy. Now, when tariff comes into play, the same t-shirt which Amitabh sold for $100 will be price labeled to $150 because of the 50% tax imposed by the US government. So, now Angelina Jolie walks into the store, sees the same t-shirt for $150 and thinks it's overpriced. Instead, she sees a similar kind of t-shirt from Bangladesh selling for $120 and buys that. So naturally, the demand for Indian goods will drop in the US. So here's where the chain reaction begins. Amitabh's t-shirts are not selling in the US market, so his profits shrink. Earlier, he bought 10 kilos of clothes from Rajini, so now he reduced it to 5 kilos. And Rajini's orders are cut in half. His factory called Saupakya Enterprises, which earlier produced 100 kilos, now producing only 50 kilos. Profits reduced to 50%. As a result, the company starts laying off employees. One of those employees, Mohanlal, suddenly loses his job. He doesn't get his salary this month. No salary means Mohanlal cut down his spending. No new clothes, no gadgets, not even eating out. This at large brings down customer demand in the Indian market. To make matters worse, Mohanlal had also taken a home loan of 25 lakh rupees few years back. Without a salary, he can't pay his upcoming EMIs. Now the problem reaches the banks. They don't receive payments, their non-performing assets rise, which gradually increase the cost of borrowing in India. So you see, something that started as a tariff on one t-shirt ends up weakening the entire financial system. That is the cascading effect of tariffs. Now, let's look into India's initiatives. Well, India is not that unprepared. You must have noticed all those images of handshakes and high level visits of Indian diplomats recently. Indian National Security Advisor traveled to Russia. Foreign Minister Jaishankar also met with Russian President Putin. On the other hand, the Chinese foreign minister visited India and met our prime minister. To take this to the next level, our prime minister visited Japan and also landed in China after 7 long years to attend the SCO summit. There, at the sidelines, he will be meeting Chinese president and Russian president. All these visits are not random diplomacy, but India's pivot to Asia, a strategy similar to what Russia did in 2014 when it faced sanctions after annexing Crimea. Simply, India is trying to get an alternate market for its goods in Asia and Southeast Asia. Also, with Europe, negotiations on the free trade agreement with the European Union, which were stuck for almost a decade, are now moving at a fast pace. The government of India and the RBI are also expected to provide relief measures for Amitabh Bachchan, the exporter, Rajnikant, the MSME owner, and Mohanlal, the employee, in terms of loan waivers, subsidies, and moratorium for loans to shield India from global uncertainty. Most importantly, India is also promoting vocal for local, a strategy to reduce over dependence on the global market and promote locally produced goods. So, yes, the US tariff may hurt us in the short term, but if we could overcome this turmoil, it may actually push India to become more independent and more global in the long run. So that's the story of the US tariff and its impact on India. We will bring you another case study soon. Until then, tell your opinion in the comment section below. Thank you, take care, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.